Okay, so here's our board work problem for today. Write the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that goes through these 2 points. And they are 6, 13 and 2, 4. So we're going to use the point slope form to write the equation, then convert it into slope-intercept form. Remember, for point slope form, you need the slope and 1 point. We don't have the slope, but we have 2 points. We use those 2 points to calculate the slope. Then we will have a slope, and we'll use that slope along with one of those points to put it in point slope form, and then convert to slope intercept form. So pause the video and try that. Okay, so we're back. So we said first we're going to find the slope. And we could call this x sub, I'm going to call this one x sub 2, y sub 2. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we use the slope formula, the difference in the y's divided by the difference in the x's. So we'll use this point here as our x sub 2, y sub 2. So the difference in the y's is 13 minus 4, divided by the difference in the x's, which is 6 minus 2. And so we get 9/4. So that's the slope. It's really, generally, maybe a little easier to go ahead and write that as a decimal. So let's do that, and maybe you'll see why. So we divide 9 divided by 4, we get 2.25. So that's our slope. So now we put it in, put this into point slope form. So we have y minus y sub 1. This is point slope form. So for the y sub 1, let's use this. We can use either point. We'll use this one. It has smaller numbers. So y minus 4 equals 2.25 times x minus 2. Okay, so now we have to distribute this. 2.25x and 2.25 times negative 2, which is minus 4.5, and we could write 4.50, but we'll just leave it 4.5. And so this is why it might make sense to write this slope as a decimal, 2.25, instead of using 9/4. We would have had this. Let's just take a look. We would have said 9 minus 4 equals 9/4 times x minus 2. And you have to distribute here. So 9/4 x, that's easy. But you also, of course, take the 9/4 times the negative 2. And this is why, at that point, you've got minus 9/4 times 2/1. We could go ahead and write it down like that. Well, what is that? Well, this one's pretty easy. It's not bad fractions. You can even cancel the 2 like that and then work it out, okay? But ends up being 9/2 x. But you don't know how easy this multiplication is going to be when you have a fraction here as your slope, and it's just as reasonable, maybe a little easier, to write that as a decimal instead. So that's the way we did it, and we'll be doing this with today's lesson, and it might be easier in those cases as well to write that slope as a decimal. So now all we do is add 4 to both sides. And so on the left we get y, and on the right we get 2.25x minus 0.5. And that's it. It is now in slope-intercept form.